please welcome the Vice President for Policy and Government Affairs at Family Research Council, Travis Weber.
Thank you. It is with pleasure that I am here this evening to present the Current or Former Government Leader Award. Given our organization's concern for religious freedom, the chance this evening to provide remarks and introduce the recipient of this award is something I'm very happy to be here to do. Our organization's religious freedom work is guided by the Bible verse, 2 Corinthians 3:17, which says, "Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom." This animates how we think about this human right for all people everywhere around the world, just as we defend it here at home. And I've had the honor to work with our award recipient, Nadine Maenza, over the last few years on a number of different issues, most notably our work on Northeast Syria. That's the thing that comes to mind as I think of Nadine, and many conversations, many strategic efforts to bring awareness to what was going on there and the opportunity to see religious freedom flourish in that land. In addition, my boss, Tony Perkins at Family Research Council, while serving on the U.S. Commission with Nadine, the opportunity to work with her, I know, on a number of different issues, many different issues, and be with Nadine as she committed herself to this issue around the world, engaging on trip after trip, traveling the world with a singular focus on religious freedom for all. So in light of her 2 terms on the U.S. Commission for International Religious Freedom, her commitment to this issue, and now her future work on the IRF Secretariat, which we heard about last night, the good opportunity Nadine will have to do the work that she's been doing in government with the same fervor outside of government. And I know you all know her well, so we'll cut off my introduction and discussion of Nadine's background at that point. And at this point, welcome her to the stage to receive the Current or Former Government Leader Award.
I'm so overwhelmed by this award, and thank you so much for this amazing honor. First, I want to share this with my former colleagues, both commissioners and professional staff at USCIRF. It really is the most effective bipartisan group in all of Washington. I appreciate all their support, especially considering some of the things I was doing had never been done by a USCIRF commissioner before. I appreciated their partnership, scholarship, and willingness to go above and beyond to help those who were suffering because of religious persecution. I'm also thankful in so many ways for the U.S. government in both administrations, as well and in Congress, who are willing to meet and even support new ideas. I'm thankful especially for the general waiver for lifting sanctions in Northeast Syria, as that was something we at USCIRF had advocated for since 2020. In the past, so many in and out of government dismissed and even laughed at us. And yet now it's a reality. So there's an important lesson here, which is don't listen to distractors, especially when you know the way forward is going to lessen people's suffering on the ground. It's worth the effort. Being a part of a government agency and working with other governments has shown me the importance, but also the limitations of government-to-government interaction. While it may be necessary, it's just not sufficient. We need to acknowledge the important role civil society plays, which is so many of you here today, in impacting religious freedom conditions on the ground. For that reason, I'm excited to be joining Greg Mitchell and the team at the IRF Secretariat in the position of president. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to better focusing on the conditions on the ground and what we can do to support both the bottom-up and the top-down approach to improving religious freedom. I cannot think of a more impactful mission at this point in time or a better team, so thank you. In the most recent USCIRF annual report we rolled out in April, just before my term ended, only 4 countries out of the 27 USCIRF covers saw any improvement in religious freedom conditions. And in my 4 years on the commission, I can only identify a few places where I've seen solid improvements during that time. It is so important that we start looking at places where conditions have improved. What can we learn from them? What can we learn from those in Northeast Syria who transformed areas that just a few years ago were under the ISIS caliphate, but now embrace religious freedom and gender equality? So thanks to Freedom Research Foundation and their excellent work and continued partnership on the ground in Syria and Iraq. As you heard earlier, Uzbekistan is certainly another place we've seen real improvements and another highlight of my time at USCIRF. And so thank you, Ambassador Vahabov, for your commitment and willingness to work together, and to Chris Seipel, James Chen, Wade Kuzak, and the Institute for Global Engagement for their steadfast work on the ground. Kazakhstan is another place we've seen some improvement with an MOU signed here last year, and many of the same civil society players, especially Wade Kuzak. Do you see a trend? In all of these successes, we see strong government interaction, but also strong civil society from the bottom up. So in closing, I want to thank my family that has endured and sometimes supported or embraced many of these endeavors. It took them a while to get used to going to Syria, but they finally did. And I appreciate all the sacrifices they made so that I could do this work. And also thanks to the Patriot Voices team who advocated hard for these causes and supported me. And thanks to my partners working on Afghanistan evacuations day and night since August, who have become like family. Charmaine Heding and Sir Charles Hoare, they're both here tonight. While nothing has aged me more, seeing so many resettled with a hope for the future has made it all worth it. And again, I'm so grateful for this amazing honor, and I look forward to collaborating with so many of you in the coming year and hearing all of your ideas for how we can better work together to really lessen the suffering of those around the world. So thanks so much again.